So I've probably given you some food for thought and some ideas. Now I'd like you to actually take some time, and I'm going to lead you through this, to begin to get clear on what some of your important goals are. Because I'm going to describe to you how to make your own meditation tape if you'd like to, or guided visualization that another person could lead you through. So what I'd like you to do is to have a piece of paper, and I'd like you to divide it up horizontally so that you've got 4 lines, so you've got 5 sections. Now you're going to label each one of these sections differently. The top one is going to be things that you'd like to have. Now that can be physical things, like I'd like to have a healthy body, or I'd like to have a house, I'd like to own a house, or I'd like to have a certain type of business or something like that. Those are the things that you can see, that you can own. And those are some of the things that you'll want to program for. And the second category is things that you'd like to do. For instance, a couple of friends of mine didn't have any money, but they wanted to travel around the world. And they wrote down on their sheet of paper, one of the things they'd like to do is to travel around the world. And they would visualize this at level every day, traveling around the world, even though they didn't know where the money would come from. Excuse me. So anyway, after visualizing this for a couple of months, some old college friends of theirs called them up and said, "Can we come visit you?" And they said yes. So this couple came to visit them, and when they all 4 got together, they had the most fun and laughing and talking and having such a great time. Well, this other couple was quite wealthy. And at the end of the evening, the wealthy couple said, "We have had so much fun with you. I hope you aren't insulted by us asking you about this, but we're traveling around the world next year, and we really want you to go with us. We would like your companionship, and would you go with us if we pay all of your expenses?" And they said, "We will definitely go." And so they traveled around the world. Actually, they've traveled around the world twice with these people. So that was something that they wrote on to do, and they programmed. So to have, to do. Then the next category is to be. As you write in this category, you'll start to think about what kind of a person you want to be. To be loving, to be caring. These are qualities. Or to be the best English professor you can be, or to be the best teacher you can be, or to be a wonderful mother, to be patient. Qualities, things like that. So you have, to do, and to be. The next category has more to do with the fact that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. And that one is the category to feel. These are the things you want to be able to direct yourself to feel. Now you can feel things no matter what's going on around you. You don't have to have anything to feel. You don't have to do anything to feel. You don't have to be anything to feel. You just feel. One of the things that I program for to feel is appreciation. Because to me, appreciation is a fabulous life condition. And if I appreciate the bad things and the good things, I always feel good. So to feel. And again, these are qualities like to feel loving, to feel enthusiastic, to feel appreciative, to feel fulfilled. So you have, to do, to be, to feel. And the last one has a lot to do with the fact that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. This is a major part of the human experience, and that is to serve. In other words, if you're not doing anything to make the planet a better place, you're not really having the ultimate human experience. So I think it's important to make that category as you write your goals, in what way can you serve? By cheering people up, or by helping people to realize their value, or by teaching, or by volunteering, helping people in some way. But you'll think of whatever it is for you that gives your life meaning. So now you should have a sheet that's just divided and says to have, to do, to be, to feel, and to serve. And what I'd like you to do now is to take about 10 minutes, and the video can be turned off during this time, to take about 10 minutes and begin to just think about your life and what you'd like to have, and what you'd like to do, and what you'd like to be, and what you'd like to feel, and how you would like to serve, and just start writing down ideas. Now you can write your short-term goals over on this side, and medium-term goals here, and long-range goals here. There's some things that might take a lifetime to achieve, so put them over here. Or some things that might take a year to achieve, so you might put them in here. And some things that you could achieve very quickly, so you can put them over here. So short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-range goals. So take some time now, after the video is turned off, and just begin to be quiet and think to yourself and write down the things that are important to you. Now that you've filled out this sheet and you've gotten an idea down on paper as to some of the goals that are important to you, what you can do is to take these things and write out each one in the form of a positive statement. It's very important to make it positive. In other words, if you have kidney disease, you don't write out the goal, I am free of kidney disease, because then you're still focusing on the negative. It's very important to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. So write it out, my kidneys are functioning perfectly. My kidneys are in excellent health. I am in perfect health on all levels, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. So write out each one of these goals in a positive sentence and write them on a piece of paper. And then simply get a cassette tape recorder and turn it on and read each one of those goals into the tape recorder and then pause. And by doing this, you'll create a tape that you can actually use for yourself at level to give you a guidance to visualize these goals. How many of you have ever had the experience of being at level and you kind of drift off or you fall asleep a little bit, and then when you come back you go, well, I didn't really program for my goals. This will help you to stay on track. Now, I've shared this with graduates in the United States at graduate meetings, and the results have been absolutely phenomenal. People have come back, and for instance, a man that did this at a graduate meeting recently said that one of his goals was an absolutely impossible financial goal, or he thought it was impossible. But he wrote it down there, and he programmed it and read it onto a tape and listened to it. And a series of events occurred in his life that made it possible to reach that goal. He was totally amazed. In fact, he said everything on the sheet has started to happen. So when you take something that's just a thought and put it down on paper, you're already starting to make it physical. So you're starting to manifest your goals by simply writing them. And then by reinforcing those at level every day or every couple of days, you can really, really go towards those goals. Now I'd like you to take out another sheet of paper or the back of that sheet of paper. And I'd like you to pick one of the goals that you have on the front and do something that will help you to find out what's standing in your way of that goal. Because the things that are really standing in your way are your thoughts. Now, there was a woman here in the United States who came to me because she was programming for a romantic relationship and it just was not happening. So I said, I want you to write down every single negative thought you have about having a romantic relationship. And she wrote down things like, there are no intelligent men in the world, and things like, I have an ugly body, nobody would be attracted to me. She was shocked when she wrote down all these things on the paper. She didn't even know she was thinking these things, but she was constantly canceling out her positive programming with these negative thoughts. When she had written down all of the negative thoughts, I had her write down next to each negative thought a positive thought that could really be true. And so, for instance, instead of saying there are no intelligent men in the world, she wrote, I only need to meet one intelligent man. I mean, she didn't need all the men in the world, she only needed one. There must be one man that's intelligent enough for me, and she wrote it down. Instead of, I'm fat and ugly and no one will pay attention to me, she wrote down, the right man will be attracted to me. She ended up with a list of positive, beautiful statements. And I told her to recite those statements out loud before she went into her level. And within 2 weeks, she had met the man that she's with now. So what I'd like you to do is to pick one of the goals that's on the front of your paper, turn over your paper, and begin to write down on the left-hand side of the page all of the negative thoughts that pass through your mind about this goal.
If you would like to watch more videos like this, then please subscribe to my channel below. Once again, my name is Stephen Dobos, and you can download a free centering exercise. The information is in the description box below.